Hello sailors, welcome back to Tuesday Theory Talks. Zachary Sellers here. We spent the last 2 weeks talking about how one sail, and then two sails, use wind speed to induce pressure, how our sails harvest energy from the wind. If you missed those videos, there should be a link right about, here? This week, we're going to talk about how your boat turns pressure in its sails into forward motion for the hull. Let's kick off. As you'll recall, the pressure in our sails pushes from windward to leeward, like this. But you'll see that most of that energy is going sideways. So why does our boat move forward instead? The answer lies in the shape of our hull underwater. It's built to allow water to flow from bow to stern, but not from side to side. As a simple way to look at it, most of the pressure in your sails tries to capsize your boat. And because your mast is firmly attached to your hull, tipping a boat over means lifting that hull up through the water. But as the hull pushes up against the water, that water pushes back against the hull. This is Newton's third law of motion. Every action has an equal and opposite reaction. Those two forces mostly balance each other out, and the small forward force in our sails pushes your boat forward, and the hull, being so smooth from stem to stern, lets the boat go forward. The water washes by without stopping. So that's how a sailboat turns the wind into forward motion. But before we move on, there are a couple more things we need to understand about this force in our sails and this force on our hull. As with everything on a sailboat, these two forces have fancy names. The name for the pressure in our sails is the Centre of Effort, or CE. The opposing pressure on everything underwater, so our hull, our centerboard, and our rudder, is called the Centre of Lateral Resistance, or CLR. To help us understand what's going on, we add up all these forces and mark them with a single point. And it doesn't matter if where we put that point is perfect. This is just to help us understand the concept of what's going on. The front of our sail is bigger, and the bottom of our sail is bigger. So the CE for our main sail is probably about here. And the same thing's true for our jib, so maybe here. And that means the CE combined in all of our sails is probably about here. The three of our foils all have resistance, so I'll put a mark for each of them. And then combining those three, the Centre of Lateral Resistance is probably about here. The reason we look at our forces like this is to visualize whether they're right on top of each other, the CE above the CLR, or if one is further forward or further aft on our boat. Let's change views. For this, you're going to need a pencil or a popsicle stick. Hit pause now and grab one. Hold the pencil in front of you. The point of the pencil is the front of your boat, and where you're gripping it, where you're pinching between your two fingers, is the CLR. That's the point your boat is going to pivot around. Your mouth is the wind, so blow at your pencil. And then, using your other hand, imagine what would happen if the CE was in front of the CLR. So you push on it, and what happens? The boat turns away from the wind. It bears off. If, on the other hand, the CE is behind the CLR, what happens? The boat turns towards the wind. It heads up. We can adjust our CE and our CLR to affect what our boat wants to do. If our boat wants to head up, we call it weather helm. If our boat wants to bear off, we call it lee helm. And if our CE is right over top of our CLR, and our boat wants to go in a straight line, we call that neutral helm. There are lots of situations when we're sailing where we want to choose what sort of helm our boat has. How we choose, we're going to talk about next week. See you then.